Namaste and welcome. I'm Julie Hill with Yoga Body. I help people eliminate pain and get back into doing the activities they love through yoga therapy, muscle testing, Reiki energy healing, and really helping individuals grow their awareness for their movement patterns. Today, I wanted to focus in on the inner core, this inner line of stability. It's created by some muscles that are very deep inside of our body, so often it's harder to feel into. The transverse abdominis is one of the main muscles which attaches high and low and around the back, and it runs the muscle fibers run horizontally. It's set up much like a corset. There's muscles that run down the back called multifidus, along the spine, as well as the pelvic floor and the diaphragm. They all work together deep inside of us to create an inner cylinder of stability so that our arms and legs and head can move with all of this staying steady and solid. I often start working here with clients because if we don't have stability in our torso, right, that we developed when we were very young, then it's hard to not brace in a shoulder or your neck or jaw or even in a knee to provide the body that stability. So there's some simple things that you could do. They're a little more subtle. Most of us think about working our core and we think about doing crunches. Today, I'm going to take it a bit kind of pre-crunches. We're talking about this innermost line of holding us steady. And so we're going to come onto our backs. It's a great way to check in. And we're going to notice, do we feel wobbly? Does our pelvis slant or tilt? When you come onto your back, we'll go ahead and just bend your knees. You can have something under your head if needed. And we're just going to start by lifting a leg up. And then go ahead and set it down slowly. And notice if there's like a wobble in your pelvis when you set that leg down. And with awareness and a little more engagement of this deeper line of muscle tissue, we can start to realize that we have to have it engaged to hold the hips. Otherwise, they want to rock. So going very slowly, you can do the same leg a few times, or you can switch back and forth. You can also notice if there's bracing in a shoulder when you set that leg down, or is it soft and easy? Are you bracing in your rib cage or your jaw? All these things can start to take over and provide stability rather than that deeper layer of muscle tissue. And so we really want to connect to that and peel away all these other areas, like I mentioned, jaw or shoulder, that might be bracing to provide that stability. Or maybe you're pushing down with one foot and lifting up the other, instead of just allowing the leg that's staying to be very light on the floor. So you can notice that you could bring one leg up and then the other. Again, we're noticing if the hips are slanting or swiveling or anything like that, and touching a toe down, keeping all of this kind of soft and easy, and allowing that engagement to happen through that inner line, the transverse abdominis, right? We're breathing here, pelvic floor, diaphragm, they're all working together. And you can start to take maybe one leg, so maybe bring one leg down, you have opposite arm and leg, and take them overhead and then back up. And you can notice when you go overhead, do your ribs want to flare up? So maybe that cylinder isn't able to maintain that. If that's the case, then we go a little bit less and stay in the range that it's able to maintain. Coming to the other side, you could do the same thing there, just to notice. Again, when you switch from one leg to the other, does the pelvis kind of want to slant? Does a shoulder want to dig in, or the opposite leg? All of those things tell you about how this stability line really is doing. You could also take them out to the side, arm going just as far as leg. So if the arm goes really far but the leg doesn't, then we've gone a little bit beyond. We want to keep these in sync with each other and make sure that the pelvis doesn't tilt over, that it really does stay very evenly weighted and very stable. These are small, very subtle moves to to kind of check in with that inner line that's often harder to feel. If you're doing good with that, you could take both arms and legs and allow yourself to go long here. Right, we can do opposite arm and leg. We could take it out to the side and see how that goes. Keeping the arm and leg moving at the same pace. Again, really solid. Back of shoulders, back of hips. There's no rocking in my hips at all. All of that gives you more information. And that tells you a little bit something too. When you're using this inner line of stability and we come into a plank position, so this would be the same line that has to support us. Sometimes it wants to drop down or we have to lift up because it just isn't quite strong enough or stable enough to keep this line set. So maybe coming to a kneeling plank here and feeling that line engaging. You could even take it from a hands and knees and just bringing one leg back. Do you notice if the pelvis wants to tilt when you go ahead and bring that leg back? There's an example of that. We want to hold all of this steady as we start to bring that leg back and then drop it down and the other side. You can also notice when you go from one side to the other, does your body want to sway back and forth? We really want to keep it nice and steady. Really asking this innermost line of stability to connect, to hold us so that our arms and legs can move freely, weighted or not. If you have any questions about anything I talked about here, please reach out to me, julie@yogabodylllc.com. Here's to a happier and healthier you. Namaste.